Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. An arrest was made on a VISD campus. Those details are just ahead. And the Crossroads continues to battle wildfires. We have the latest from Calhoun County. Plus, new updates could be coming for air traffic controllers.
And coming our way tonight, we're going to have a strong dry line that's going to pass through the Crossroads, making it exactly what it sounds like, dry, dry, dry. And that's going to bring back another round of possible fire weather for us in the Crossroads this weekend. All that and weather coming up.
Last night we had some great softball action across the Crossroads. I'll give you some final scores and highlights coming up in sport.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and happy Wednesday. Hope you're having a great start to your week. We're halfway through the week.
That's right, halfway through. Time is just flying by, isn't it? Halfway through, and guess what? We got lots more nice warm weather to come.
Yeah, tell us all about it, Parker.
Well, we got some very warm weather actually coming away tomorrow. Believe it or not, well, we're going to be in the low 90s. Western counties, they might be in the mid-90s if you believe that. We're going to look at all that later on Sunrise, because if you're tuning in with us this morning, starting out the day at about 62 here in Victoria, a little bit cool, just a tad bit. I might maybe recommend a light jacket if you're about to walk out the door. Otherwise, it is also very humid right now. Dew point is at a whopping 61 degrees, 1 degree off in the temperature, bringing us the high 96% humidity. And most of y'all would be like, that's enough for fog, right, Parker? Well, yes, it is. But we do have a light breeze kind of blowing through us right now, so providing us with a little bit of mixing. You can see in the visibility map, not working with too much fog this morning, so I don't want y'all to worry about that. And I don't really need y'all to worry about the temperatures either. It is a little bit cool all across Texas. All of us in the Crossroads, we're all in the low 60s and upper 50s, getting closer to that warm Gulf water. Y'all in the mid 60s this morning, but it's going to be another nice, beautiful, warm day today, thanks to the crystal clear skies that is all across Texas, bringing us lots of sunshine. So if you're sending your kiddos out the door this morning for school, just maybe, like I said, grab that light jacket. It's going to be a nice, warm afternoon. We'll look at all that coming up next.
A Victoria School District maintenance employee is in jail on multiple child sexual abuse charges. 53-year-old Carlos Cáceres was arrested on the Cade Middle School campus Tuesday afternoon for 3 outstanding felony warrants. Public records show Cáceres has worked for the district since 2022. Cáceres faces a felony sexual assault of a child charge and 2 felony charges of indecency with a child. To read VISD's statement, come to crossroadstoday.com. Firefighters have been battling brush fires that burned almost 1,000 acres in Calhoun County. More than 50 firefighters from multiple agencies, including Port O'Connor, Seadrift, and Port Lavaca fire departments responded. Local ranchers and landowners also pitched in, bringing drinks and food to keep the crews going. The Bayside fire is fully contained at 20 acres, while the oceanfront fire has burned over 500 acres and at last check was 95% contained. As fire weather continues to threaten the Crossroads, Goliad County Judge Mike Bennett ordered a 90-day outdoor burn ban for the county. A violation of the burn ban is a Class C misdemeanor, and it could result into a fine of up to $500. Ukraine is ready to accept a 30-day ceasefire in the war with Russia. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz announced the deal Tuesday after hours of negotiations with Ukrainian leaders in Saudi Arabia. The United States will immediately lift a pause on intelligence sharing with Ukraine and resume providing security assistance to Volodymyr Zelensky's government in Kyiv as his forces attempt to repel Russian troops more than 3 years after Moscow's invasion. President Zelensky says Ukraine is ready to accept the proposal if Russia agrees. The ceasefire will take effect immediately. A new report on January's deadly plane crash over Washington has found, quote, intolerable safety concerns. Now the country's transportation chief is promising change.
Major changes could be coming to air traffic control centers in the wake of January's mid-air collision between a passenger jet and helicopter near Reagan National Airport. 67 people were killed.
We're using floppy disks in our system. We have headphone jacks that we're plugging and unplugging. This is, think back to the 1980s, if you were even alive. That's the system that we're using for air traffic control.
The Transportation Secretary unveiling a plan to revamp the air traffic system by going wireless and using fiber optic radar systems.
New technology that will allow our air traffic controllers not to use binoculars in the tower to see where aircraft are at.
His comments coming after investigators revealed thousands of incidents in recent years where planes and helicopters flew too close to each other near Reagan National.
There were 15,214 occurrences or close proximity events between commercial airplanes and helicopters in which there was a lateral separation distance of less than 1 nautical mile and vertical separation of less than 400 feet.
Nearly 100 incidents were considered near misses.
How did the FAA not know? How did they not study the data to say, hey, this is a hot spot, we're having near misses, and if we don't change our way, we're going to lose lives?
The FAA has now agreed to ban most helicopters from flying in that area. The agency has also started using artificial intelligence to identify potential safety hotspots at a dozen other airports across the country. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
President Trump announced on Tuesday he would increase planned tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum by an additional 25%, raising it to 50%. The move comes in retaliation to Ontario Premier Doug Ford announcing a 25% tariff on electricity it provides to some U.S. states, which was itself in retaliation to previously announced tariffs on Canadian goods by President Trump. Later Tuesday, Ford backed down from the surcharge after talking to U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. Trump in turn said he was now looking at reducing tariffs on Canada. The city of Seadrift will have a new mayor. Lori Thomas was running unopposed for the position, but on Tuesday night, the city council canceled the May special election. Elmer DeForest was running against Thomas, but removed his name in recent weeks. The city will still have a regular May election for 3 city council positions. The city also confirmed Cheyenne Beaver as police chief with an official swearing-in ceremony. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crosswords Today, hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time is now 6:37 on our Wednesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. The status of manufactured homes in Yoakum.
More turmoil on Wall Street. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with details as Trump imposes new tariffs overnight on all steel and aluminum imports.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast for today, going to be a bit of a warm one all across beautiful Texas. And then we got a dry line coming tonight, making it real dry tomorrow and even warmer. All that coming up next. Well, good morning, Crossroads. You're looking live in Cuero. A little bit of a cool morning out there right now, starting out the day at a 58. So a little bit cool. Maybe grab that jacket. Dew point 1 degree off, though. Still very high, bringing the humidity to that 96%, which is enough to see fog. But like I was saying earlier, don't worry about that this morning. We really don't have that much of that this morning. But otherwise, today, it's going to be another nice and warm day. So you also go ahead and get out there and enjoy it. Looking at your temperatures by noontime, already going to be in the low and mid 70s, but in the afternoon, we're looking for highs generally in the mid, some even in the upper 80s today. In fact, western counties, we're talking about Karnes and B County, y'all might hit 90, maybe even 91 for a moment or so today. But otherwise, I'm thinking 84 for the high today in Victoria, 87 for the high in Cuero, and I'm actually thinking 78 for the high today in Port Lavaca before overnight tonight under mostly clear skies with a few passing clouds. Lows will only drop down into the upper 50s. All that thanks to the southerly wind, which will be picking up throughout the rest of the day. But today, thanks to that southerly wind coming off of the Gulf, we're looking at humidity back to right about where it should be, definitely where it should be for comfortableness. It'll be very nice today in terms of that. But out to the west, you can see all that very dry air that will be filtering into our area overnight tonight in the form of a strong draw line. You can see that passing right here in the early morning hours tomorrow morning, bringing our humidity down to as low as 10 to 20% tomorrow, which is enough to see fire weather. However, it will not be breezy tomorrow. Today will be wind gust up about 25, maybe even 30 miles an hour, getting closer to the coast. But like I said, the winds will calm down as we go into tonight and into tomorrow. But winds today will bring us a little bit of pollen, so go ahead and take that allergy pill with the very high tree pollen. But winds will pick up as we go to the weekend time. And if you add that onto the dry conditions, we have alert days for fire weather possible. All that coming up next.
All right, good morning, Crossroads. And last night we had some great softball action here across the Crossroads. And we're going to start with the Battle of Victoria, where East battled West there. And this game was a defensive battle at the beginning. Again, for East, Anaya Franklin was dominant at the circle, and West also had Alina Martinez as well, doing well on the mound. But this changed till East. They poured on some winning runs. They won this game 6-0 there for East, and they're going to take game one of this series early. Again, for West, they're going to travel to Calhoun this Friday, while East travels to get play district foe Terry there on Friday. Now, speaking of Calhoun, they faced their Ingleside last night in district play, and they lost this one 10-0. Ingleside, they got on early there with Beth Akivis, single RBI. Leilena Smith also had 2 RBIs as well for Ingleside. And again, for Calhoun, they're going to have to regroup there against Victoria West there this Friday. Now over there to ranked Hallettsville, where they faced the Columbus Cardinals on the road there last night. The Lady Brahmas would get the job done, winning 3-0. Grace Halata and Taylor Leeds helped the Brahmas there win last night. Their next game will be at home versus Yoakum there this Friday. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
This morning, more turmoil on Wall Street as President Trump faces growing pressure with his back and forth on tariffs. Overnight, the president imposed more tariffs on steel and aluminum as his global trade war intensifies.
This morning, President Trump imposed sweeping new 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imported into the U.S. That means everything from cars to washing machines, lamps, and even canned goods could go up in price. And many small businesses now bracing for rising cost.
Our cost of goods have gone up. Our cans have already gone up in price. Bottom line is going to eat into a good part of our profits.
On Tuesday, President Trump backed down from a threat to impose an additional 25% in tariffs to Canada, totaling 50% after Ontario said it would put a tariff on electricity coming into the U.S. Ultimately, Ontario Premier Doug Ford held off on retaliatory electricity tariffs, saying cooler heads should prevail, but still reminded Americans who was to blame.
Consumer confidence is down. The market's tumbling. There's going to be plants closed in the U.S. Assembly plants will shut down because they won't have the aluminum, or they'll be paying 2-3 times as much. This is absolute chaos created by one person, and that's Donald Trump.
The Dow now down more than 1,300 points in 2 days. President Trump dismissing the turmoil, now saying he does not see the possibility of a recession.
Mr. President, when you look at the market selling off, that didn't concern you, and where do you see it going?
Doesn't concern me. I think some people are going to make great deals by buying stocks and bonds.
Instead, he expressed support and compassion for Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, whose Tesla stock has tanked 39% so far this year.
What's your best of these cars? What do you think?
Well, the car that I drive is the Model S Plaid.
Which is that one?
That red one in the middle.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Consumers could be bracing for more pain, with Canada also saying they could restrict oil and minerals coming into the U.S. if the trade war escalates. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We want to know, do you believe the U.S. is headed toward a recession? All right, let's take a look. 39% of you say yes, and 61% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. Yoakum is putting the brakes on new manufactured homes again. At Tuesday's meeting, the City Council voted to extend the moratorium, aiming to protect the character of its historic areas. City Clerk Teresa Bowe says council members want to maintain the city's charm and keep manufactured homes out of town for now.
I think to preserve our history is vital to our community. We want our children to know where they came from and how our city was built, and preserve its beauty as well.
Bowe says the moratorium is not permanent and gives residents access to affordable and reasonable housing. A SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket carried 2 NASA projects into space Tuesday. The rocket's cargo includes Spear-X and Punch. Spear-X is a space telescope that will collect data on more than 450 million galaxies and 100 million stars. That will give scientists insight on how the universe expanded so quickly after the Big Bang. Punch is a collection of 4 cameras that will photograph the sun. Those images will be the first to show both the star's corona and solar wind together. It's just about 6:46 on our Wednesday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, the Department of Education taking a big cut. All right, time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Jake. Look out, it's Jake's 21st birthday. Happy birthday, son. We love you from Pops, Mrs., Mom, Popo, Nanny, Brick, and Aslan.
Oh, happy 21st, Mr. Jake. And also happy birthday to Juanita. Happy 54th birthday to the best mom in the world. Love you, JJ. Thank you for all you do.
Oh, that is an adoring son right there.
I love that. Sweet, sweet.
Happy birthday to Anaya. Happy birthday, princess, from mom, dads, grandparents, sisters, and brothers. We love you.
Oh, happy birthday, Anaya. And also happy birthday to Shirley. Wishing you a very happy birthday. And thank you for all you do. We love you from your family and friends and husband, Gene.
And actress and singer Liza Minnelli is 79 today. You know, her mom is Judy Garland.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, Miss Liza. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now, Sunrise, just head on over to crossroadstoday.com, click the drop-down menu, then click the home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
All right, the time is now 6:47 on our Wednesday morning. Happy birthday to Regina.
That's right, happy birthday, Regina. And happy birthday if you're celebrating today. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all just saw that 7-day forecast a few moments ago, and you saw us getting back into the 90s. Not just today, but some of us might be today, but tomorrow and Friday, we're going to be back in the 90s, if you believe that. And then we're going to have a front coming away this weekend, and we also have a dry line coming away tonight. So lots of stuff going on and weather. What we're looking at here on satellite is 2 upper-level low pressure systems that we've been tracking all week long. Both of these lows, here's the first one right here, passing over the Baja Peninsula, and the second one west of the coast of California, about 500 miles away. Both of those two systems will move over the mountains next 72 hours, 4 days or so, and that's going to bring us, like I said, that dry line in the front. Here's system number 1, bringing us the dry line tonight, which is going to make us real dry for the week in time, bringing us that fire weather chances, like I said. And then here comes that second system coming over the mountains a little bit further north than that first one did, which is why the second one is going to bring us a cool front as we go into Friday night. Now, this front, it's coming tomorrow night. It's not tomorrow night, Friday night. It's not going to be that strong, y'all, so I don't want y'all to get super excited about it. In fact, here are your high temperatures for the next few days. Highs tomorrow, like I said, low 90s. I'm thinking 91 here in Victoria. Western counties, y'all might hit the mid-90s tomorrow. Same thing with Friday as well. Lows are going to be back in the 60s thanks to that southerly wind continuing out of the Gulf, but then the front comes through on Friday night, and we're looking at highs dropping back into only the low 80s. That's why I'm saying don't get super excited, because we're going to drop about 10 degrees. But here's what we're looking at in terms of humidity. As that second system comes off the mountains, it's going to send lots more breezy west-northwesterly winds through South Texas, and that's going to bring all that humidity, that very dry humidity out in West Texas into South Texas, into our area. We're looking at values dropping as low as 10 to 20% this weekend. That's why we have alert days. Now, another thing I'm sure y'all have probably heard me talking about is an eclipse. That's coming our way tomorrow night, Thursday night. Well, we're going to expect a little bit of cloud cover. I'm thinking it's very sunny tomorrow, Thursday, but a little bit of cloud cover rolling back in right around the time that we're expecting that eclipse. So we'll have more on that tomorrow and more later on Sunrise.
There are dramatic cuts coming to nearly half of the Department of Education staff. Officials say a notice went out to all career employees at the department. All of those employees are being told to stay home today and have their government-issued laptops with them. An estimated 2,100 will receive termination notices by email. President Trump has said he wants to eliminate the agency and put education into the hands of the states. The Department of Education is expected to reopen Thursday for in-person work. The U.S. Agency for International Development is instructing its staff in Washington to shred and burn documents. The document destruction was set to take place Tuesday. That's according to an email from the agency's acting executive secretary. Groups challenging the administration's plans to shut down U.S. aid filed an emergency motion Tuesday afternoon seeking to stop the document destruction. The email and the information to be destroyed was courtesy content, information, or documents given to them as a courtesy by other agencies. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. The shutdown deadline nears. As the shutdown deadline nears, the House narrowly passed a 6-month funding bill on Tuesday. The vote was 217 to 213. The measure now heads to the Senate, where Republicans control 53 seats. At least 8 Democrats would have to support the bill to cross the Senate's 60-vote threshold and send it to the president's desk. The government is set to run out of money late Friday night. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi is reinforcing an administration priority at the Department of Justice, banning paper straws. In a message to the DOJ workforce, Bondi said the department must comply with the president's recent executive order banning the purchase of paper straws for federal buildings. She described them as non-functional, expensive, and potentially hazardous. The Environmental Protection Agency is cutting all of its environmental justice offices. The offices work to protect disadvantaged communities from being disproportionately impacted by contaminants. Over 160 environmental justice employees were put on paid leave last month. Now they will be fired. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin says it's in accordance with the president's executive order targeting DEI. 11 House Republicans have signed on to a discharge petition that would grant new parents some flexibility on the House's strict in-person voting rules. The rare move poses a challenge for GOP leadership as Speaker Mike Johnson currently opposes the bill. The petition is expected to trigger a vote on the floor in the coming days. The debate on the House's school voucher bill centers on a question: should wealthy Texans be included? Read the story by the Texas Tribune on CrossroadsToday.com. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at our dark sunrise with Parker. Parker, that time forward, springing forward, has changed our sunrise.
That's right. We had lost an hour of daylight over the weekend time. I'm sure a lot of y'all remember that when y'all lost an hour of sleep on Sunday morning thanks to daylight savings time. And thanks to daylight savings time, that's right, Carolyn is absolutely right. The sun is coming up a little bit later than it usually would just about a week ago. But right now in Port Lavaca, a bit of a cool morning. Of course, the station's not working down there, but right now, looking at the temperature map across the room, it's about 65 right now in Port Lavaca. Everybody else is starting out in the low 60s as well, so maybe grab a light jacket if you're headed out the door this morning. Otherwise, it's going to be another beautiful warm afternoon. So fishers and boaters out there, we're looking for a pretty nice day to be fishing. Slightly choppy waves, 1 to 3 feet high, so we'll be a little bit breezy at times, gusting up to 25 knots. That equates to 30 miles an hour. High tide is going to be this evening, and the low tide is going to be in the early afternoon, and your water temperatures are starting to warm back up into the low 70s. And air temperatures are also in the 70s today. I think it's 79 around parts of Matagorda Bay and other bays on the coast this morning, or all day actually. But lots of sunshine. I'm thinking for today, maybe a few passing clouds in the morning time. Otherwise, that'll definitely burn off in the afternoon. Same thing in Victoria. Lots of sunshine today. A little bit warmer. I'm thinking high of 84 for today. And warmer than that in Cuero, I'm thinking 87. And honestly, today, the further out west you go in our counties, we're going to be reaching near 90. And if you thought that wasn't warm enough, well, here's your 7-day forecast going into tomorrow, Thursday, and into Friday. We're looking at highs back in the low 90s for mid-March. And then as we go into the weekend time, after that strong dry line passes through tonight, we're looking at very dry weather encompassing the Crossroads. And if you add that to the breezy winds that's picking up this weekend, we have fire weather. So make sure to be careful burning.
Yes, be careful burning, and it looks like it may be a good time to mow the lawn or wash the car.
I agree, definitely go. I actually did that yesterday.
Nice, I'm gonna do that today.
Did that.
We'll have a great Wednesday, and be sure to join us tonight. Join Shauna, Don, Maclovio, and Max tonight for 25 News Now 6 and 10.